If you've been on a college campus or in certain cities lately, you might have seen them. These little six-wheeled robots just confidently rolling down the sidewalk on a mission. Today, we are diving deep into the rise of the robot career and the surprisingly complex world behind these, let's be honest, kind of cute delivery bots. All right, let's get into it.
Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a weird question, right? But it gets right to the heart of what we're exploring today. I mean, beyond just being convenient, what's the real human impact of this tech? The answer, as you're about to see, is pretty fascinating, and probably not what you'd expect.
So to really understand this whole phenomenon, we have to start where these robots have found their most welcoming home, the university campus. This is really the perfect testing ground, where the technology has taken root and just become a part of daily life for thousands of students.
And this quote from Mason France, it just hits the nail on the head. It starts off as a novelty, something cool to see rolling around campus. But then, really quickly, it becomes this practical tool that genuinely makes life a little bit easier. Whether that's grabbing an extra hour of sleep or getting a hot meal during a crazy late-night study session.
Okay, so before we jump into the super high-tech commercial versions, I want to strip this all back. Let's break down what these robots are at their most fundamental level. To do that, we're going to look at a basic delivery bot designed by engineering students for their own campus. It really helps demystify what's going on inside these things.
When you look at these parts, you can see how this tech is built on stuff that's pretty accessible. The brain is just a basic Arduino microcontroller. The eyes aren't some fancy cameras. They're simple infrared sensors designed to do one thing: follow a line on the ground. A couple of DC motors act as the legs, and a Wi-Fi module gives it its connection. And that simplicity is the whole point. It shows that the core idea here isn't science fiction anymore. It's practically a weekend project.
All right, so we've seen the DIY version. Now let's level up. Big time. Let's peek under the hood of those sophisticated commercial robots that are navigating busy sidewalks and making thousands of deliveries every single day. This is where things get really, really interesting. And wow, this comparison just shows the incredible leap in sophistication, doesn't it? We go from a bot that just follows a line to one that navigates a messy, unpredictable world. It swaps out simple IR sensors for a whole suite of tech. We're talking LiDAR, radar, HD cameras to build a live 3D map of everything around it. And it's not just following programmed instructions, it's using AI to actually think for itself. So what connects all this amazing hardware and software? It's a network concept we call the Internet of Things, or IoT.
Think of IoT as the central nervous system for these things. It's the network that lets the bot constantly send data about its location and what it's seeing, while at the same time getting info about its destination, about traffic, even about the weather. It's the digital glue that makes this entire operation possible.
So you gotta ask, why are companies pouring billions of dollars into developing this sophisticated technology? Well, it all comes down to solving one of the oldest and most expensive problems in logistics, the last mile of delivery. And this number right here explains everything. Over half of the entire cost to ship a package is spent on that final, super inefficient step from a local hub to your front door. It is the most expensive, most complex part of the whole supply chain. This is the problem these robots were built to solve.
And it's not a one-size-fits-all solution either. Companies are tackling this from every possible angle. You've got the sidewalk robots we've been talking about, which are perfect for dense urban areas. Then you have drones that can just bypass traffic completely, ideal for speed and reaching remote spots. And of course, you've got larger self-driving vans for the big stuff, like groceries. It's a whole robotic fleet aimed at one massive logistical challenge.
Okay, so let's bring this all the way back to our original question. We've seen the tech, we've seen the business case, but what actually happens when you integrate these robots into a real community? To find out, we're heading back to college campuses to look at the data.
So get this, a survey of over 7,000 students found some absolutely incredible benefits. Nearly 2/3 said they skipped fewer meals just because they didn't have to wait in long lines. 60% said it freed up more time for them to study. And for 30%, just having the option of a contactless delivery actually made them feel safer on campus. I mean, these aren't just minor conveniences. These are real, measurable improvements to student well-being.
And here it is, the big one, the answer to that question I asked at the top. A full 1 in 4 students reported that these little robots have actually improved their mental health. By cutting down on the day-to-day stresses of campus life, the impact isn't just convenient, it's genuinely therapeutic.
But what's maybe even more amazing is how students have started to treat these little machines. They're not just tools. They've sort of become part of the campus family. Almost half of students treat the robot like a person, saying thank you. Over a third have patented it. They've been welcomed in a way that goes so far beyond just simple utility.
Okay, so if the technology works and people seem to love them, what's the holdup? Why aren't these things absolutely everywhere? Well, scaling up from a closed environment like a campus to the wild complexity of a major city, that presents some pretty significant hurdles.
Yeah, the road ahead is pretty bumpy. Legally, every city and state has different rules. Technologically, the bots still need to get even better at handling those one-in-a-million edge cases, like an ambulance suddenly approaching. And our cities themselves, with their uneven sidewalks and stairs, are a huge physical challenge. And finally, broader social acceptance is absolutely key to clearing the path for these things to really take off.
So what's the big picture solution for a lot of this? Well, it's a concept called V2X, or Vehicle to Everything. This is the idea that in the future, our robots and autonomous cars won't just be seeing the world, they'll be actively talking to it. They'll communicate with other vehicles, with traffic lights, and even with the smartphones in pedestrians' pockets to create a fully connected, safer, and way more efficient environment.
And this image right here gives us a little glimpse of what that future could look like. It's a world where there's this constant digital chatter happening, where every vehicle on the road knows the intentions of everything else around it. This is really the end game, moving from individual smart robots to a truly intelligent, integrated transportation network.
So this brings us full circle, doesn't it? The technology is advancing at an absolutely incredible pace, and the potential benefits, from making our lives more efficient to even improving our mental well-being, are becoming crystal clear. The question is no longer just if these robots will become part of our daily lives, but how we'll adapt to welcome them. It's a question about technology, sure, but also about infrastructure, and ultimately about how we choose to build our communities of the future.